Good morning, my dear brothers and sisters. Today is March 21st, 2010. We are at the Yitung temple in Kelowna, BC. And this month I have the opportunity to come back to visit the brothers and the sisters. And I wish that you are happy and well and diligently in the practice. Do you still remember the song that we have learned last time? Happiness is here and now. Do you still remember the song? Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. I'm no longer in a hurry. Can we repeat the song, please? So, refresh. Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. No longer in a hurry. Remember it now? Okay, let's say it again. Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. No longer in a hurry. One more time, please, and louder. Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. No longer in a hurry. We have another part, but let's stop here because we sing so well. My dear brothers and sisters, today I would like to share with you a story. And when we hear the story, and we can reflect and learn something in our daily practice. And this is the story taught by the Buddha. And the Buddha said that there was a young man who was chasing by a tiger. And you know this. You know that this is the year of the tiger. And there was a young man was chasing by a tiger. And when he was in a very frightened situation, and luckily he saw a dry well. So he wanted to jump into that well to hide the tiger. So when he jumped in, and when he looked down at the bottom of the well, and he saw the 3 poison snakes underneath of the bottom of the well. You see, very danger. He thought when he saw the dry well, his life is safe. But when he jumped down and he looked down at the bottom of the well, he saw the 3 poison snakes. So he realized that he unable to jump down. He will die because of this poison snake. When he looked around the well, he saw the string at the edge. So he hold that string. So now he was safe. He cannot jump up, he cannot jump down, but his life was saved by swinging with that string. At that moment, he is not yet, calm himself down. And he heard something on the top of the well. He looked up, he saw the 2 mice, one black, one white, crawling from somewhere to that string and start to bite the string. You see that danger. That's very unlucky. And Chinese and Vietnamese people used to say, fortunate never come double. Misfortunate never come alone. So you see that his life is very fragile. If he jump up, the tiger will eat him, will kill him. He jump down, the 3 poison snakes also can kill him. His life now is only swinging on the string, but he still, the mice came and bite the string. He is worried, he is frightened, he is suffer. But right in that moment, there was a bee flying over his face and dropped down the 5 drops of honey. So he took that 5 drops of honey and he enjoyed it, and he totally forgot all the danger around him. Can you imagine the story? So the Buddha said, our life, each of us is like that young man. The tiger is chasing is the impermanence of life, the changing of life. So the impermanent was chasing us each day. When we saw the well, and the 3 poison snakes stand for the hate, the greed, and the ignorance. That 3 poison snakes deeply live inside of our heart. The well, at the bottom of the well. When you appear in the temple, you join your hands, you practice sitting meditation, look like you're very calm. The 3 poison snakes sleep at the bottom of our heart, our mind. But if someone touch, if someone press right on the button of our greed, of our hate, of our ignorance, the 3 poison snakes willing to crawl up and kill our practice. The 3 poison snakes always stay and sleep at the bottom of our heart. So we never dare to say, oh, now I have no more greed. I have no more hate. I have no more ignorance. We do have. But because of our practice, we know how to transform and make that 3 snakes sleep. So that is the purpose of meditation. That is the purpose of the chanting, of the walking meditation, of the Buddha's name recitation. You use all of that in order to calm you, in order to make ourselves calm down and let the 3 poison snakes firmly stay at the bottom there. And slowly we make the poison become more gentle. We reduce the percentage of the poisons. The 2 mice, one black, one white, stand for the day and the night. Last night, I came here. Now, this morning, 5 more minutes, we come to noon. So, black and white also try to bite our life too. That means day and night, all the time. We live in the very dangerous situation. But just because of if we have the opportunity to have the 5 drops of honey, we're willing to forget everything around us. What are the 5 drops of honey? Stand for the 5 desires. Sex, money, the fame, good sleep, and good food. In the Buddhist term, we call ngũ dục, the 5 desires. Tài, sắc, danh, thực, thùy. Money, sex, fame, good sleep, good food. So that doesn't mean we are unable to. These are the 5 things we have every day. But our practice is we can recognize them and do not let them become the controller. We have fame, we have money, we like to make us look beauty. We have all of that. Practicing Buddhism doesn't mean we run away from, the entire life. But we do not forget there are something surround us, and if we forgot, we just make ourselves running and follow along with all of that. And we have no way to come back. So that is the reason why each of the Buddhist practitioners, we practice taking the 3 refuges. Taking refuge, it means you come back. You come back home and take refuge in the Buddha, our teacher, in the Dharma, the teaching of the Buddha, in the Sangha, is the community. For instance, we established the temple, and we know that every Sunday we all together conduct a public service. And if we have some monks or nuns to come, and they will share with us something related to the Buddhist practice. You come here for 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours. At that time, you live in a good environment for 3 hours. You save your money. If you spend 3 hours in the shopping mall, if you have no cash, you will use your credit card, your Visa, your MasterCard. So 3 hours you spend in the good environment. You save for your life, your pocket also save for 3 hours. So come back with the community is very needed. We have a home where we take refuge every day. That means after work, after a long holiday, we would like to come back home. Home sweet home. Same thing. Our spiritual, we need a place to come back to take refuge. And that is the reason why when we bow the Buddha, we bow 3 times. The 3 bows stand for the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. So this morning, we do the chanting. And before we finish the chanting, we say, I take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows me the way in this life. We don't respect the Buddha like a saint, like a God who is able to give us happiness or send us down to hell if we don't worship him. But we respect the Buddha as our teacher, the one who shows us the way in this life. Dharma, it means the teaching of the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma, the way of understanding and love. If we do not come back and take refuge in the teaching of the Buddha, when we deal with the suffer, when we are facing with the difficulties, we have no technique, no solution to help us to solve the problem in the right way. You know that in this life we have many, many ways. But which way leading us to the happiness and which way leading us to the suffering? For example, if someone is so suffer, they think they go to the club, they go to the bar, they go to the casino, so they can relieve their suffer, but actually they don't relieve at all. Just temporarily forget what is the suffering. But guess what? After an hour in the casino, you lose your money. After an hour in the bar, you drink, you damage your body. You damage your body. You destroy your own happiness. So that is the way to relieve your suffer too, to calm down your suffer too. But that only make you more suffer afterward. But the teaching of the Buddha able to help you. Let's say you're not happy this morning. Instead of shopping, bar, club, casino, you go to temple. You go to temple, you meditate to calm yourself down. You're listening to a talk, open your understanding. Once you come to the temple, you both physical and mentally have nourished. This now we are sitting here, we're nourishing our spiritual practice. Later on, we go downstairs in the dining hall. The lady downstairs gives us a dish of vegetarian. We nourish this physical body. In our life, we have only both two things, physically and mentally. So every Sunday when you come here, that both physical and mentally have been nourished and protected. You chanting, you meditating, you listening to the talk, those are all nourishing our spiritual practice. The Sangha is the community. Your family is a small community. You come here, you join a larger community. So I take refuge in the Sangha, the community that lives in harmony and awareness. We come here, we live in the harmony. We share the space, we share the food, we share the profit. Everything we share. So the three refuges is very needed for our Buddhist practice. And to build up the foundation of our own happiness, the happiness of our family, the happiness of our community, our society, each of us encouraged to practice the 5 mindfulness trainings. Sometimes we call the 5 precepts. Many will think, no, I don't want to take the precept because the precept make me unfreedom. I don't have any freedom since I practicing the mindfulness trainings. But actually, the more you keep the precept, the more you have freedom. Because the precepts have the capacity to protect us. What are the 5? And remember that in Buddhism, we are not forcing. You have to take it. But every single you do just because you are aware of the situation. For example, aware of the suffering caused by killing, I vow to cultivate my loving kindness, not to kill, and also to protect the life of animals and others, beings. To show your love, you vegetarian. To show your love, you will find a career that does not harm the human, the animals. You are not selling drugs. You are not thinking about killing others. So you are aware, we are aware of the suffering caused by this. So we vow to cultivate this. Example, I aware that my husband has a very hot temper. I cultivate reflecting on my words every single time I want to talk with him. So you are aware of the situation. You want to build up the happiness. You want to make the stronger foundation of happiness in your own family. Then we do the practice. You know the word practice? It means cultivating. It means renew. It means fixing. You recognize you are not this well, so you want to fix it. Like this morning when I came to the main hall, I saw the middle rug. It's not straight, it's not in the middle, it's not in the center. So I asked one of the brothers, fix it. Life is like you arranging the flower. You know how to put things in order to make the vase of the flower look more beautiful. Same thing. Practicing in Buddhism is fixing, reorganize. So the second training, aware of the suffering caused by exploitation, I vow to share my generosity. Sharing your time, your energy, your material resource. Giving. So like I practice generosity. I give you my time. You also practicing your generosity. You come here, you give me your time. That's why we are here this morning. I share my time to talk. You share your time to listen. And your sitting give a lot of support for others. We are aware of the suffering caused by sexual misconduct. We cultivate our responsibility by not engage any relationship which is not our husband or wife, because we want to cultivate the safety environment for the society, for the family. Few months ago, I received an email from a very suffering lady. She is asking for help on the financial situation. she said that they are a very poor family. And one of their cousins request her husband go to a bigger city to work in a hotel so he can raise more money to support for the family. And when the husband has a chance to work at a bigger city in a hotel, he has the opportunity to meet a lot of people, and of course, a lot of ladies too. So he break up the third practice. He engaged with a lady who has HIV, but he doesn't know. So after that, he go back home and he transmit the disease to his wife. And now he passed away. She have to take care for the two young boys. And she know that she also almost died because of that disease. So when I received the email from her, I sent my support. But in that moment, I deeply appreciate the third practice of the 5 mindfulness trainings taught by the Buddha. If we do not practice the third precept, you can see that there was a lot of problems, a lot of sexual abuse around the world too. Just because we do not understand, we do not take the responsibility. And that is why we say, I am aware that to protect my happiness, I need to protect the other happiness too. And if you do read the Bodhisattvas evoking the names this morning, and you will realize, I know that my own happiness, the other's happiness is also my own happiness. The fourth mindfulness training, that is cultivating, listening deeply, and loving speech. Very important. Because in our society, in our daily communication, conversation is the most important. But if we do not learn how to talk, then the words, the language we use may destroy the happiness, may cut off the communication between us and the others. Besides that, we also learn how to listening deeply. Sometimes we have the habit. We want to talk and we expect the other to listen, but we never willing to sit and listen to the others. So we say that if the husband talk, the wife listen. If the wife is talking, the husband will listening. If they both talk, the neighbor will hear. So that is what we call the cultivating the loving speech. You can see that when we inviting the bell, before we make the bell sound, we must tap on the edge of the bell like this, twice, before we sound it. You know why? First, because the bell is made by metal, copper. If you just suddenly hit to this piece of copper, the bell may break. This can cause the bell break. And you also will scare people. So before you sound the bell, you let all the people know that there will be the sound of the bell. So when you hear this, you will get ready to listening to the bigger sound. You're not scared at all. Let's say you all close your eyes and meditate, and if I just hit the bell, you may shock, you may scare. But if I do like this, you know what's supposed to be going on. The sound of the bell able to calm us, able to make us feel relaxed and happy. So before we sound it, make sure you wake it up. You have a minute to calm yourself down before you sound it. Same thing. Your words is like the sound of the bell. You're able to awake people. You're able to make people happy or not. So before we talk, stop and reflect on the words we use. Exactly the same as you inviting the bell, you wake the bell twice. Did you see the meaning of it? That is the reason why we wake the bell 2 times before we sound the bell. You stop a minute before you talk, and we call reflecting. You see, when the Buddha meditate or when we are practicing sitting meditation, we look halfway down. We don't open our eyes widely, but we look down. Look down stands for reflecting to yourself. So that is the 4th mindfulness training. Loving speech and the ability to listening deeply. The 5th mindfulness training we call the mindful consumption. I am aware of the suffering caused by daily consumption. I cultivate my mindfulness, very mindful on what I intake for the body. Because we have body and the mind. The body needs food, the mind also needs food. So we have to be very careful before we intake something for this body. Because some of the food does not bring any healthy for the body. Some of the food does not bring any healthy for the mind. And if we are not mindful, we will take a lot of things to damage for the body and for the mind. For example, you should know that what kind of food that your body can take. What kind of food your body cannot take. Because when we take it, we only make us, we feel more sick. Don't take. TV programs, novels, magazines, books, conversation, internet. They have a lot of programs, a lot of websites, totally not healthy at all. So we should be aware what kind of websites we should visit, what kind of magazine we should read, what kind of news we should read, because some of that things, after we read it, we have no joy, no happiness, only more greed, more hatred. You know, we have the habit, we scare the ghost, but we like to watch scary movies. After the one scary movie, we cannot sleep. A lot of Vietnamese ladies, they're really afraid. But at night, they like to listen to the scary stories. every day before we have meal. These are the 5 contemplations we should read before we start our meal. First, this food is the gift of the whole universe, the earth, the sky, and much loving hard work. You say it. So when you say it wholeheartedly, you will see that you are one with the whole universe. And you appreciate every spoon of food you take. And you can see that this food is the gift of the whole universe, the earth, the sky, and much loving but hard work. They love, that's why they put a lot of effort. You don't believe me? After this talk, you come downstairs, you can see. They're all good food, but they make. Now we're sitting here to listening to the talk. We so enjoy, but the ladies in the kitchen, they work hardly. They work hard. Just because they love us. They want to support us in the practice. The second contemplation. May I take this food? May I eat in mindfulness, so as to be worth to receive it. When we eat, we must put our attention on the food. Do not waste the food. If we waste the food, that means we don't appreciate the people who cook. So even we go to buffet, we pay for that, but please do not waste. Just take enough to serve you. You don't know how does it take? Take a small portion. You want it, you can come back. They're always there to serve us because it's called buffet. All you can eat. No limit. So why we need to take a lot? We cannot take it, we throw them in the garbage. We waste the food. The third practice when we eat, may I recognize and transform my unskillful state of mind, especially my greed, and learn to eat with moderation. That is the third contemplation before meal. May I recognize and transform my unskillful state of mind, especially my greed. Because when you eat, we talk about greed. And learn to eat with moderation. Everything is good, but it's over, it's become not good. You know, like ginseng, good for your health, but cannot overtake. Especially red ginseng. If you have the high blood pressure, you cannot take. The fourth contemplation before meal. May I take only food that nourish us, and prevent illness. We just take only food that prevent the sickness and nourish ourselves. The fifth contemplation. We take this food in order to realize the path of understanding and love and build up our practice. So I encourage. These are the 5 contemplations. You can write them down. And you can ask, you can invite the family to practice this before we eat. It's very reality. You don't have to thank the Buddha, give me this food. But in Buddhism, your thankful is to get down into the practice. not just to sit there and thanks the Buddha all day. We thanks for his teaching. We need to practice what he taught. That is the true meaning and the true purpose of, honoring the Buddha. So I told the Vietnamese community, do not become a dead Bible, but each of us, we have to be a living Bible. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you behave, the way you be with each other, in such a way that they can feel it, they can learn it. Dharma talks doesn't mean you talk all day. Sometimes just by action, you already talk. Because we have 3 ways to teach. The way you can teach by words, you can teach by action, you can teach by the mind. Let me share with you an example how I teach my young novices. If someone call in, they phone call in, I know that I am unable to answer their phone at that moment. Instead of saying, can you please pick up the phone and tell them that Thầy is not home? I don't teach that way. I am home, but why I told the kids, tell the other person on the line, I'm not home. You indirectly teach your kids to be lying. Instead of that, I say, can you pick up the phone and tell them Thầy is home, but Thầy is busy. So it's true. I cannot answer the phone because I'm busy with the guest, with another visitor. So take the name, take the number, I will call back. But we have the habit. When we see something we don't like, we cannot do it, we say, I'm not home. You think it's small, but very small thing, you can add up, you can indirectly teach the kids something very bad, but we never know. So what is that? That is called the reflecting. You reflect what you did. And you can see what you need to do each day. So the 5 mindfulness trainings are the foundation to build up our own happiness, the happiness of the family and the society. So there is nothing, no freedom. The more we practice, the more freedom we have. For example, we drive on the road. We learned all the rules how to drive. You stop at the stop sign, you never suffer because you know you stop, you bring safety for yourself, for others. You save also your money, you don't pay for the ticket. The yellow light, you slow down. The red light, you stop. Green light, you go. No suffer at all. Because you know when you follow the traffic rules, you respect the society, the rules, and you also protect for yourself, for the others. So today, with this short time, I would like to remind again the 3 refugees and the 5 mindfulness trainings. And remember that practicing Buddhism doesn't mean we run away of anything. We still live in this entire life, but now each of our action, each of our word, we have more mindful on it. Before we walk very fast, very rushing, even we have nothing to do, but that is the habit. Now you slow down. If you need to run, you can run. We can call running meditation. Like I used to walk slowly in the airport, but I know that I'm late for the next flight. I cannot walk slowly and say, oh, I'm walking meditation. At that time, I need to meditate. Yeah? lating the fly. I late for the fly. I was late for the fly. So I must running meditation. Sometimes I need to hold up my rope and run. Because I know if I meditate, meditating means, you understand the situation. You don't attach to the technique, but you know what are you doing. Thank you for your listening, and I hope that you do enjoy your morning, you enjoy your lunch, and enjoy your whole weekend. Thank you.